If you ever drink anything out of a can and you don't crush it before you throw it away, you're an absolute bitch and you should be ashamed of yourself. God, I love this stuff. That was full of only the good things. But the truth, my dear, is that we must know fear. But the truth, my dear, is that we must face fear if we ever hope to be brave. I hope you get as good as you gave. Remember the best things are true. I will wait. I hope you're late. There's so much that I'm waiting to tell you. But the truth, my dear, time grows near. But the truth, my dear, man, this is like, it's like 93% right now. And it's kind of irritating me because I know that I'm overshooting what I was doing previously by several notes, but I'm hearing a new thing there and it's comfortable. But the truth, my dear, is that we must know fear. That was the first idea. But the truth, my dear, is that we must know fear. Is that we must know fear. But the truth, my dear, is that our time grows near. But it's up to us to say when, to say now. It doesn't matter how. I want that line to be about kind of just starting, how it just doesn't matter if your fucking room is clean. Like, man, if you're just trying to pull yourself out of some shit, you just gotta start. You know, like, I can't fucking believe this, honestly. I've been like looking around the house today, and like my wife is just so good. What she has not said anything about is like, if you could imagine this, fuck me. If you could imagine this, but like 10 times worse, that's what the rest of the house looks like. And she has pretty much done nothing but whatever I said I needed. And so like and one day like it finally kicked in. I was like watering a dirt bike ramp, and I was having a good day. And I realized I was having a good day. And I hadn't had a good day in 30 years. And that was the day, I think that was December 14th, I think. There's something around there. And that was the day that I was like, man, you know, I've been thinking about good things. I've been thinking about jumping this dirt bike, or jumping this gap on my dirt bike. And that's all I've been thinking about for like 2 hours. Like no negative thoughts had like been able to, it probably wasn't 2 hours. It's probably more like 45 minutes, but I realized that, you know, my brain red flagged that. As, you know, like that was a long time to not have a negative thought for me, because the last 30 years have just been a steady stream of like, you stupid incapable piece of shit, you're the stupidest motherfucker on the planet. What the fuck are you doing right now? This is so stupid. Like, and imagine that about everything. The fork you're eating is fucking retarded. Like, you're eating with. Just imagine that voice following you around, commenting and observing everything that you did. When I was young, I could hear it audibly as I fell asleep. But, man, I was just thinking about how super dark that is. Like, the fact that you can just like break a kid to that point, that they're literally hearing, that their brain starts to manufacture like a third voice of disgust to join in with the other two. It's amazing that our brains have that capability. But you know, ultimately that led me to that day of having 45 minutes of no negative thoughts, because I was so fixated on this dirt bike thing. And I have a theory about the whole dirt bike phenomenon too, like how that made me look at myself. But I had this thought. I thought, man, like I felt really good. I've been having some really good thoughts, like here for the last few minutes, and it felt really good. And then like before the negativity voice could like jump back in, like this, like way in the back, there's like this barely audible voice that was like, you should have more of them. And whatever that voice was, like your inner child or your higher self, your intuition, you know, and I'm sure that there are some philosophies, like knowing what I know, like we're about 3 months past that day. Like knowing what I know now, I would imagine that there was some serious like, I think a lot of religions were founded on other individuals getting to this point where they recognized that there were, like, that we have separate origin points for our behavior. But yeah, anyway, I heard that little voice, like, way in the back, and, like, man, I latched onto it. It was like, where the fuck have you been? And man, I grabbed a hold of it with everything. Like, there was no turning back. Like, whatever new pathway, those molecules or, those atoms traveled down to make that connection, like, it may have well been a superhighway. Like, you could probably look at my brain and see it with your naked eye. It was just, like, I knew, or something in me knew to not let go of that. Because, man, I didn't really, like, become aware of what was happening for, I don't know. I think I was, like, born on January 1st through 4th, somewhere in there. And it has nothing to do with the new year. Or like New Year's resolutions or anything like that. Like, I remember coming back into my body and seeing everything for the first time. Or not for the first time, but for the first time in 30 years. And what's crazy is I have this memory. I had this kite. And it was awesome. And I honestly, I have no idea. Well, I might have an idea. It was a thresher shark, and it had this, like, super long tail. And there was no control. It was just, a one straight. It was a little, like, one of those kites you get for 99 cents. And we lived out behind a lot of land. So I just jumped the fence and take off. And I think I was like 4, maybe 5. But I was out there with my kite and I was, like, on the top of this green hill. And I can still remember the way the wind sounded. Like, as it kind of, like, rushes through your clothes and your hair. And there's all these sounds that accompany just the wind moving over your ears. I think a lot of people don't hear them just because that's kind of a white noise, and we're almost conditioned to allow white noise to be more effective than it ought to be. But if you listen for those things and you hear them, you will never not hear them again. And it was just amazing, and somehow, I don't know, it happened too many times. Somehow, I was controlling the kite. I could like pull really hard and take a couple sharp steps back, and it would dive. And it would die, and it would go down to, like, man, just inches over. They'd, like, brush through the grass. This was kind of lush. It was lush country. So, just all kinds of green grass from millimeters to feet. And it would skim the tops of the long grass, and you turn and go back up. And I just remember in that moment, this is kind of like, this is one of the ways that I can look back and reference when things, like, really dove for the worst. And I was just so happy. I was so happy to be alive. I remember the way that pasture smelled. There was just so much. It was in Caldwell, Texas. If you've ever been out there, like, in the summer, and you just, like, smelled the pastures. It's different in that, where I live right now, our pastures do not smell like that ever. Our pastures smell like iron. Anyway, I was just happy. I remember something about all of that, like the way that I felt, the direction that I was facing, like that was the first time in my life that I had that like everything is right now feeling. And it was the last time that I had it until like the last 3 months. So, and it started that day really. And and I looked around and I saw like just how horrible things had gone. Like, this is not how I live. You know, like if people that visit us, if any of my friends, you know, like saw this, they would just be shocked. Some of them have and they have been. They'd just be shocked. Because, you know, our last house was so organized. And I loved it. But, so that's what it's got to be about. It's got to be about the fact that, like, whenever you reconnect with yourself after something really traumatic, and that could be anything, you know, honestly, I hope for her the most traumatic thing ever is like a bad breakup. That would be awesome, just if that was her life. The most heartbroken she was, you know, like when people were like crying about their 3 families being killed in a school bus accident, and she was like, oh, you know, I know. In 7th grade, this 12-year-old boy broke my fucking heart. I would love that. That would just be like the best thing ever for me. And I would know somehow on the other side. I'd be like, yes, got it. But regardless of, you know, like the severity of whatever it is that takes you down into that moment where you have to go like, man, I gotta start again. And I gotta just do it with what I got right now. And that ultimately carried over into the reason that I'm filming these sessions. Because I've wanted a way to share like my music and my process with people. And this is a way that I can do it. And I don't have like a cool, you know, this is not what I saw in my mind when I envisioned a YouTube channel. And that's how the dream worked. When I do that, I'll do this. You know, like when I build the studio, I'll do the thing. Yeah, when I get lighting, then I'll start filming everything. When I get a better amplifier, then I'll start filming everything. Well, I need 2 more guitars, and then it was just a never-ending thing, right? Like, you're never gonna do that. You just have to look around at whatever you have. And if all you have is a hammer, fuck, you better go find some nails. But you just have to. You have to look around and start with whatever, like, the $7 you have in your pocket and the strings that are on your guitar. That's what you've got to start with. And you just got to go do it. And you can't, like, wait for the validation of other people. You can't wait for people to understand why you're doing it. You know, so that you can then give yourself permission to go out and accomplish your dream. I mean, just listen to the way that sounds. There's only one person that gives you permission to accomplish whatever it is you're dreaming of, and that's you. And that's such an important concept, because as soon as your validation starts coming from inside, you understand immediately how I just want to make sure it's recording. You understand immediately how people can not give a fuck to the levels of like Kurt Cobain or Chris Farley. You know, and I'm not saying that they're necessarily like negative people. As a matter of fact, I'm positive that neither were. They were both probably amazing to be around. But, and I mean, I could be totally wrong. But Yeah, but you understand like how they became that was by literally not giving a fuck what anyone thought, and then suddenly like it's like the universe gives them this inverse reaction and goes, now everyone's gonna give a fuck about what you think. And you know, like I don't see myself like having that kind of. Actually, that's not true. I would love to have that kind of power. You know, if people get inspired by what I'm doing at that level, fuck yeah, man. That's the ultimate dream. That is the ultimate dream. That is the ultimate dream. Like, I would love it. If I am capable of ever creating like a shred of positive inspiration, I would want to give that to every living person instantly. And if I never do, then I'm still going to spend my life trying to. That won't change, because that's what I want to do. And that's the whole, like, why self-validation is so important, and acknowledging those things. Anyway, that was a lot. Truth is, I might have kept going, but I had no idea what I was talking about. I will wait. I hope you're there. There's so much I can't wait to tell you, I can't wait to tell you, I can't wait to tell you. But the truth, my dear. Oh, that's how it should be. There's so much that I can't wait to tell you the truth. I will wait. I hope you're there. There's so much that I can't wait to tell you the truth, my dear. Oh man. I will wait. I hope you're there. There's so much I can't wait to tell you the truth, my dear. As our time grows near, but it's up to us to say now. It doesn't matter how, it doesn't matter, but the truth. I will wait. I hope you're there. There's so much. There's so much I can't wait to tell you the truth, my dear. Zawima must face fear, but the truth, my dear. But the truth, my dear, is how we must face fear. Man, it feels weird. But the truth, my dear, is that we must face fear if we ever hope to be brave. But the truth, my dear, is that we must face fear if we ever hope to be brave. If we ever hope to be brave. I hope you get as good as you get. Man, so I keep looping that because I'm trying to remember to start my foot counting. And it's just that I haven't been able to satisfactorily make it to that point to remember that's what I was doing it for. But the truth, my dear. We're just gonna start the foot right now. Make sure we're rolling, because this ought to be fucking retarded. Yeah, I'm gonna start and stop it.